intro. Yay! So, hi, welcome to the Warp Zone. I'm EJ.
I'm Sean.
And I'm Phil.
Yay. Another episode. So I guess we'll start with how what we played with over the weekend. I'm still with my Horizon. I'm farming right now. That's literally what I'm doing. And I think it's annoying me to the point to where I don't want to play this game anymore.
Why are you farming? What are you trying to get?
So I'm trying to upgrade and get my achievements, and so you have to start like getting all your materials and either upgrading your armor, upgrading your pouches, and I just kind of took the easy way out for the armor, and I went back to the very beginning of the game to the shop, and ended up like upgrading all of that. It only cost me like 300 metal shards, so it didn't cost me that much. And we went with that, and the pouches. I was hunting for owls, and when I didn't need them, they were there, and when I needed them, I couldn't find one. So, yeah, that's basically what I'm doing. I'm just achievement hunting right now, but I am 86% done with the game, which yeah, because I'm trying to be that person to 100%. But if anybody knows anything about the game, I am currently I'm waiting for my party. I just got to go to the campsite to finally go into the base and actually like choose. Yeah, I gotta do kind of like what the do like whatever it is I like the last kind of towards the last battle, but that's about it. That's what I'm doing. So farming, yeah, definitely fun.
I'm kind of doing some farming in Lego Star Wars because I don't know if you're at this point, Sean. I imagine you are. After you've beaten all the movies, all 9 movies, really like the reason to go back and keep playing is to just get like all the ships you couldn't afford before, all the upgrades. So it's just amazing how quickly you can go through a million studs in that game. You think you've got a lot, but it's not enough to get what you want. Then you can have some kind of crazy death, falling into a lava pit, lose a good like chunk of your change. Like you could lose like a half-hour progress if you slip and fall. You can lose 300,000 that way or so. That's happened to me a couple times. Pretty frustrating. It makes me want to farm in safe ways, but then there's kind of like a risk-reward thing. But I'm really liking Lego Star Wars Skywalker Saga. Playing a little Switch Sports 2, and then a couple other indie games. One of them is Tunic. That's on Game Pass. It's kind of a Zelda clone, really fun. And then there's Descent into Madness, which is a Metroidvania, really hard game, difficult, and it's almost beaten me to the point of giving up. But I'm still hanging around that one. All right, Sean.
Well, everyone's talking about farming. I'm still playing Genshin, and I'm still farming. Farming my Gemmy gems so I can open up loot boxes.
We're Farmville, basically. All of us are.
It's the only game I've been playing. It got its hooks in me. I was away from it for a while, and now it's like I can't stop playing it. And the same company.
You're out of your game of the year. You're not playing Lego Star Wars. What drove you away? What was the accomplishment, or like what made you not play that as much?
I wasn't driven away so much as I just started playing Genshin and got hooked, and it's easier because it's on the PC. It's on literally everything. So it's if I'm just sitting on my computer, I can, the cursor just kind of floats toward that little icon on my desktop. Not because I want it to. It's like a black hole for my cursor. But there's another game by the same company called Honkai Impact the Third, which I started playing not too long ago too, and that one has its hooks in me as well. And it's the same kind of concept. It's more of a mobile game. It's more of a 2-button beat stuff up sort of game, but it has its hooks in me too. So I'm just kind of playing a bunch of Chinese mobile games basically. And farming in them, and that's become my life.
Supporting that community, supporting that economy, Sean. Good job. Good for you.
Yeah.
Paying the bills for people.
Yeah. Well, and the company that made the game, MiHoYo, they're based in Shanghai, which is under COVID restrictions. So right now they can't even update the game. They can't even go to the office to update the game. So
Dang.
we're just sitting waiting for the update that may someday come. We're not sure. The company can't
And
tell anyone.
and I understand it was a really unusual weekend for you, Sean. You actually did something you don't usually do. What was it that you did?
I went to a movie theater.
Woo!
I went surrounded by people, the smell of popcorn. Ugh.
Yeah, and we
But
teased
not for
it.
Doctor Strange, because
No.
as we all know, Sean will wait several months before seeing a popular movie. What did you go see, man? What did you go see?
Okay, well, this. I feel like it's popular. It's gained a lot of and the theater was actually crowded, which surprised me since this movie's been out for 4 or 5 weeks, something like that. But I saw Everything Everywhere all at once. Michelle Yeoh. I don't remember the name of the director, but he's the guy who did the "Turn It Down for What" music video. If that's any indication of what you're in for. And
Yes.
like Multiverse, it's a multiverse movie. It's about Michelle Yeoh. She's a Chinese American woman who runs a laundromat, and her husband. Well, her husband wants a divorce. Her daughter doesn't love her. The laundromat, they're having issues with the IRS, where the IRS is about to repossess it. Her entire life is in shambles right there. And as she goes to the IRS office to go figure out her tax issues, her husband turns to her and is like, by the way, I'm from another universe, and you're the key to solving this problem because there's this giant monster that's taking over all the universes, or all the multiverses. And he basically puts this little like Bluetooth headset on her, and she's able to travel between all the different possibilities in her life and learn from those in order to fight this evil. But the way they show it is super interesting, because it's like it shows all the branching paths that her life could have taken, but in order to get to the ones that she needs, like she needs to learn martial arts to fight these people, they have to do some really weird specific thing to slingshot themselves to that possibility. So like she picks a guy's nose and forces him to eat it. Like it's just the most bizarre stuff in order to slingshot. And then she goes into that world. She learns martial arts. She learns whatever. And as the movie progresses, she sees all these possibilities in her life and realizes that like she could have been something. One of the interesting things is they use actual footage from Michelle Yeoh on the red carpet and everything. But there's also the fact that if she doesn't specifically do something to go to the right universe, she'll go to a really weird universe. Like there's one where every human being has evolved to have hot dogs for fingers. Don't know why, but it's weird. It's wild. It goes in all kinds of directions. It has some of the funniest action sequences, like Jackie Chan style action sequences involving adult things we can't talk about here. But then at the same time, it has all this like emotional stuff about what could have happened, her family, all these issues she's dealing with the laundromat. It's so kaleidoscopic and weird how all of these disparate elements actually worked, and it is definitely a movie I think everyone should see. It is.
So this is your movie of the year at this point.
It totally is. It is nice. So good. If you want martial arts, you get it. If you want a family drama, you get it. If you want to see two rocks with googly eyes talking to each other, you get it. It's so good. It's so weird. You don't see these movies often.
Yeah, we've had a couple of producers who've seen it and like, you know, they were like blown away by it as well. And I mean, it got me hyped. Like you, for a person who's like always critical about movies, now makes me really want to go see it even more because it actually impressed Sean. So there's the teaser in itself that it impressed you so much that you actually liked it.
Yeah, I never thought I'd see the multiverse. Yeah. Never thought I'd see the multiverse in which Sean was impressed by a movie. Like, this is not right. Like, he wasn't even impressed by Dune, which was his movie of the year last year. So, there you have it, man. This is something to behold right now. But speaking of multiverse movies, the one that most people have seen this past weekend, EJ and I saw it twice. I liked it. EJ didn't like it because she likes things like Eternals. It is Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness. And very much like it sounds like Sean's movie is also a multiverse of madness. What multiverses are not madness? I think it's kind of redundant. All of them are. I like this movie. It was fun. Got a lot of fan service. All sorts of cool characters. A lot of very harsh endings for some of these characters. But to me, it was like a. It's kind of like the grad course you take after all these prerequisites. Like you watch Marvel's What If, you watch Shang-Chi, you watch Spider-Man No Way Home, and here you get Doctor Strange, and it's just a fun movie. Like Sean mentioned, the crazy multiverses in his film. You see some of that here. You got like a paint multiverse. You've got my favorite multiverse is the one in which Pizza Papa exists. Like to me, like the quote "Pizza Papa always gets paid" is like my movie quote of the year, and that's said by a certain person that I don't want to spoil his existence in the movie, but he's strongly connected to director Sam Raimi, which almost gives it away probably for a lot of people. I really like this movie. It was fun. To me, it's not quite as good as Spider-Man No Way Home, but it's a solid movie. Nowhere also not as good as Doctor Strange, the first one. But I like this one. It shows a lot of cool possibilities that we're going to see for the Marvel Cinematic Universe as it gets its little reboot here.
I mean, I wanted to say, like, I love Doctor Strange. The first one was great. For this one, though, I mean, I absolutely, like, I didn't go in with high expectations. Actually, I didn't go in with any expectations, and I was still disappointed with this movie. The whole, like, special character that you're talking about, Phil, I mean, I get the connection, but I didn't like their part at all. Didn't think that it played any part. Hated that. Hated the fact that they made us sit through all of the credits and we got to see that, and like another continuation. I didn't like that it was lazy writing. I'm not a big horror film, but that part of the movie I did like, that it was creepy, that it was like scary, that it had a different look and feel from a regular Marvel movie. I didn't have a problem with that. That was fine. I just didn't like the fact that they basically wasted all of these characters. You do your homework, you watch WandaVision, you watch the certain episode of What If, and it really didn't play a part at all. Like honestly, you could probably watch this and not really know what's happening. And people were like, "Oh, you have to watch. You have to." No, you don't. You don't have to because there's really not a connection at all. All you have to do, if you read a synopsis, you're good. I don't think that it adds any value to Wanda because, again, with everything that played out in the WandaVision of how she felt, if you haven't seen it by now, basically the ending of WandaVision is she goes out to live the rest of her days on this like orchard, and beautiful like ending. Like you're like, okay, she's kind of reconciled with herself. She's still grieving, of course, with the loss of Vision, but where this picks up, it's completely different, and it doesn't. There's no correlation because it's like, okay, Wanda's cool, Wanda's fine. She's moving on. She's trying to learn her different like powers and everything. No, not at all. In this movie, she's already like a master of it, basically trying to go into the multiverse. I think America Chavez is a waste of a character. Absolutely like non-essential to the plot, because you had Spider-Man No Way Home, where Doctor Strange is like, oh, I am basically in control of like the whole multiverse and everything like that, but then for some reason just forgot how to control the multiverse and has zero idea on what to do, him and Wong. And then I don't know. There's just so many inconsistencies, and I don't want to spoil them, but at the same time, it's like I can't really explain them without. So I'll put that up. Let's see where we at. Let's see. I'll put our little spoiler alerts just so that way we can have, because basically what happens. Sean, do you mind?
I don't care. Marvel movies to me are like wallpaper.
Yeah, and for this, like basically you have Wanda who is trying to get back with her kids. That so if you saw WandaVision, you know that she had her family and everything like that, and so she has her kids, and the whole movie is her trying to learn witchcraft to basically be reunited with her kids. Doctor Strange comes to Wanda to try and help America Chavez, who is basically can teleport through multiverses. She's like, oh yeah, I've been to like 70 something of them, and the whole backstory that we learn with her moms and learning about that means has no importance at all in the movie. We just get a flashback, which, to your point, Phil, Disney has a good reputation of trying to show us the family for no apparent reason and making sure that you know it's your fault that your parents are dead. So it really does that, and it has 0 point to the whole movie. And then all of a sudden at the end, like, America's going through the whole movie like, I don't know how to control my powers, I don't know how to do that, I like, when I get really scared, the multiverse opens for me and I get thrown into another world or another universe. And then all of a sudden at the very end of the movie, Doctor Strange literally whispers to her like, you got this, your mom's were strong, you're strong, you got this. And then all of a sudden she knows how to control her powers. So I wasn't a fan of that. I don't think that her character was needed, because you had Doctor Strange, who already knew how to control the multiverse, and he could have just teamed up with Wanda, and then Wanda's over there like finally getting what she wants, but then her kids hate her because she's scary, and then Wanda's ending up like, oh, I'm just gonna kill myself. And like brings down a whole tower, which again, we're talking about, I think I asked you this, Phil, where is this tower? And you said that it was here on Earth, and there's just this one singular tower on Earth in this universe that impacts all the other multiverses that are around.
Okay, wait a second. Let me step in here.
Please do.
There is a single tower that impacts all the multiverses.
Yes.
Is it called the Dark Tower?
Unfortunately, no.
Is it in New York?
No, it's just like in a snowy blizzard place.
Okay.
Probably like the Himalayas somewhere.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
I mean that makes
or something.
That vaguely makes sense. I mean, that's been kind of a point in these sort of, not so much movies, but just in this sort of media. You have the Dark Tower, which has always been a point in Stephen King's books, between universes. You have BioShock, which basically says the lighthouse is always going to take you to a different universe.
Right.
So,
and the thing is too, is like, Wanda is such a master at everything now, because again, in WandaVision she really didn't know anything, but in Doctor Strange she's suddenly a master at like witchcraft, and she's trying to learn how to bring back, like, control the dead, do all this sleepwalking, or day walking, or whatever it's called. And didn't even know, like, she had one singular book and it gets destroyed, and then Wong's like, oh yeah, like, too bad that was just a copy, I guess you need the real thing. And Wanda's like, oh, you mean I'm like knowledgeable in everything witchcraft and every spell and everything, but I didn't know this one fact that's just out of convenience is now a convenient piece of information that I need to know to drive the plot forward. And Wong takes her and leads to a bunch of other disasters that happen.
Yeah, see, what EJ's getting wrong here is that she's misreading what this is. This is not a movie that you're supposed to like come in and size everything up logically. This is a fan service movie. This is a B movie, and this is for fans of cheesy horror films. And if you don't mind bad acting, if you don't mind overacting, if you don't mind inconsistent plot points, the movie exists to give you cool set pieces. That's why it's there. And in a sense, it's like Transformers. Like it just exists to make cool things happen, and it sure does. Like, it's got a great opening scene. Involves a little eyeball removal. That's my favorite scene in the movie.
Oh yeah,
it's a fun movie. It never gets bored. But we do have to move on to the most important thing to me of the week, is that Sean, not only did he go to the movie theater, but he finally did something that he said he'd be doing all along, and I didn't think he'd do it, but now he's done it.
The lower third ruins it for everyone. Spoiler alert. I watched The Batman.
Yeah.
And what's the take, man? Why isn't it as good as everything everywhere all at once?
Do we want to guess my take before we go on it?
Yeah, I'm going to guess you hate it because you hate everything. So
I'm going to guess you love it. Absolutely love it.
Uh-oh.
Oh no, Sean's frozen.
has been trapped by a multiverse, unfortunately. We'll never get to know what he thinks. And I still don't know. Like, he hasn't even told me. So who knows?
I think he's good. I was there teaser. I think that he really liked it,
Right.
which was really surprising. I know, but oh no, Sean will never know.
All right. Well, back to Doctor Strange then in that case. All right, EJ, go ahead and give your rebuttal to what I said because I wasn't going to let you. I was cutting you off. So go for it.
Well, again, you have literally like the whole Illuminati that were brought in, which we got teased about it in I think an early Iron Man movie, and it was great to see, and it was great to have a I love to see it, but then you wasted the characters by basically killing them all off. And I'm like, why? I mean, I guess the most annoying one was what is it? Captain Marvel, because literally a statue fell on her. And I'm like, what's happening?
Captain, I didn't think that was the way she could go out, especially with how powerful she is in our multiverse. First of all, I'm surprised there are other Captain Marvels. To me, that's almost a conflict of interest because
according to the comics, if I'm not misspeaking here, the original Captain Marvel was, if you remember in the one with Brie Larson, the mom of the little girl, it wasn't supposed to be a mom. It was supposed to be a dad. And he was the original Captain Marvel. And then something happened. Yeah, something happened. Things progressed, and you eventually get to Brie Larson's Captain Marvel. So that's that. But there was kind of like one of those throwbacks, and then again, you had the fan service of John Krasinski as being Mr. Fantastic, which I'm okay with. I was like, yes, I'm so here for this. And then you also have I can't remember the guy, the fork guy, but his way.
All right, he's back.
I'm back. I had to change rooms. My internet died.
No, welcome back.
He had to go deep into the Bat Cave, and he's back.
Yes,
he's going to tell us what he thinks of the Batman.
The internet didn't want me to give my take on Batman.
Yeah.
But now it does. So let's hear it, man. What's the verdict?
Any guesses?
How many want to make guesses?
I think you liked it. I'm gonna go with you liked it.
I'm saying he really hates it, and he's got some problems with it. But let's hear it.
Well. You're right on both counts. I liked it, but it has issues. I like the fact that it just opens and it gets going. I thought, great. We don't have an origin story. We don't have anything. We know that. Just get right into the story. Good stuff. I don't know how to break this down. Musically, I appreciated the fact that there was a score that was consistent through the whole movie. I don't think enough movies do that anymore, where you get those stings, you get those motifs throughout. I thought that I thought specifically the Nirvana song was a little weird. I don't know why. In the first 20 minutes or so, they use it, and it felt very weird for a movie like this. They use it at the end though, and I can appreciate having that through line. Robert Pattinson as Bruce Wayne. I understand where they're going with Bruce Wayne. He doesn't have enough of a part in this movie, I guess, to really understand like his character. He's more of a like shut in. He probably listens to The Cure all day and is like really messy. He needs someone to clean up his house because, good Lord, there's so much going on in there.
Yeah, what does Alfred do? He doesn't do much butlering, does he?
Alfred opens his mail, I guess. That's about
the wrong mail.
Yeah. And then doesn't answer the phone. The phone's ringing, and he's just sitting there like, well, I guess to be fair, it was an hour before when what happened. But I don't know why they check like that.
Come on, man.
But
the bat phone doesn't ring for no reason.
He needs a bat phone. That's true. Mm-hmm. They haven't gotten to that point yet. This is only his second year's Batman. Come on.
Yeah, we don't have any. We don't have the chest plates with nipples yet, or Robin.
No. Or the Bat credit card. We'll get there. But Pattinson as Bruce Wayne, he's fine. There's not enough in the movie for Bruce Wayne to do. I like the fact that he's not like a playboy billionaire. He's kind of broken. He's trying to figure things out. I like that. They just didn't do enough with that. This is more of a Batman movie, which I can appreciate. But at the same time, the movie is about the Wayne legacy. It's about Gotham's underground. So it kind of did need a little more Bruce and some more of that character to just build up.
It's like it should have been 4 hours instead of 3, so we could see a little bit of Bruce Wayne. Yeah.
As far as the Riddler goes, I think the Riddler was great. My question is, why does every serial killer have to come with those like 70s, 60s kind of glasses? I don't know what that's about. I thought it was interesting. The riddles were interesting and the progression was interesting, but there wasn't a riddle at the very beginning that kind of played up to the ending. It was very linear.
Hi.
Hello. Sorry. Welcome. It was very linear how the riddles went along.
Batman is very good at guessing riddles, as all Batman and all multiverses can guess those riddles. Like
he is. And what I found interesting in this movie, as far as the Riddler is concerned, is that very ending part where he said, "You solved the riddles, and you basically did all the work for me." Which I like that a lot. That symbiotic relationship. It's a lot like Joker and Batman, how there wouldn't be a Joker without Batman. I think that was fantastic.
Yeah, it was very cool interconnectivity between those two characters. That was something cool. I think also this is good groundwork for this is a Batman that's built to last. I think we could see some more out of this particular reboot. Batman's come in so many incarnations. I think we're going to see a little more of this. I think we're getting started. I know there's going to be the Arkham show on HBO Max, and I hope we see some more movies. And I want to see this Batman kind of interact with Justice League at some point. See what he does with that.
I don't know that I want to see him with Justice League because I don't know that this is the Batman for that. I feel like Batman's universe in a lot of ways is so disconnected from the Justice League kind of unit. Like Metropolis and Gotham being right next to each other makes no sense to me because Gotham's set of villains is totally different from Metropolis's. And it's just, they're two completely different types of hero. And something I really appreciated about this movie was that Gotham looked like Gotham. There's one specific scene in my head when he goes to see Falcone in the 44 Club, and it's this there's all these billiard tables, and it's overlooking this highway. And it looked so much like the animated series. Like I could see this.
Oh yeah, this movie is probably the best recreation of the animated series. You could tell that they're fanboys who grew up watching that, who are in on the art direction and the costuming and stuff. Yeah, very much. That's an interesting connection I hadn't thought of yet. But yeah, I'm glad that you at least somewhat liked it and more liked it.
The 3 hours went by really fast. I wasn't as engaged in the plot until that last 30 minutes, which it's a lot like Dark Knight, where the villain's captured and then all of a sudden all these things start happening, or Skyfall. Once he was captured, and that whole ending sequence was absolutely a nail biter. It was great.
Oh yeah.
And I don't know about the Catwoman stuff. We'd mentioned weeks ago about Falcone and how she's Falcone's. I don't know why that came up, why that had anything to do with anything. Yeah. That didn't need to do that.
A little bit too.
They could have built Catwoman up a little more. But overall, I thought it was a really, really good take on the character, and I'm interested to see where they go. I don't think it's the best Batman movie, but it's definitely really good.
Yeah, better than I was even hoping for. So yeah,
for sure.
I guess that will about wrap it up this week. Thank you, everyone. I'll see you next week.
We'll see you next week.